Section 2, know the basic anatomy and associated terminology of the dog and cat. Unit VCS 05. Aims and objectives. We will cover the following assessment criteria. Identify the basic veterinary terminology associated with the different parts of anatomy in animals. Describe the directional terms used for the position of parts of the body in relation to each other. Describe the common veterinary surgical terms. Name the common medical veterinary diseases and describe common veterinary techniques. You will also complete aspects and related handouts to help you compile a range of relevant terminology and knowledge to assist you in your practical coverage of such aspects. And please note there are multiple PowerPoints that cover this learning outcome also due to the varied range of anatomy that is relevant to cats and dogs. Special senses, sight. The organ of sight is the eye. The bony eye socket that we should term the orbit houses the eye and provides some protection to the eye from a caudal aspect. We also have two eyelids externally, which we also term palpebrae, that cover the front of the eye, again providing further protection, but also enabling the maintenance of moistness of the cornea, which is vitally important. Under the medial dorsal lid, we have the lacrimal gland located, and this is responsible for producing tears, and these are washed over the eye surface, the cornea, by the eyelids. Most animals have what we commonly call a third eyelid. Its appropriate terminology is the nictitating membrane, and this is another form of protection. The eye itself is made up of several layers. The three images provided show you labelled aspects that make up the eye, its location, and also other adjoining aspects for you to be aware of. Layers of the eye. We have the cornea, the clear front aspect or surface of the eye, and it allows entry of light, and it can alter its shape slightly to aid focusing of the eye. The cornea itself is continuous with the white of the eye, which we call the sclera. The sclera is a supporting framework, helps to keep the shape of the eye. The choroid is the middle layer. It contains blood vessels, which are responsible for providing nourishment to the eye. The retina, which is the inner layer, is connected to the optic nerve, thus it has nervous aspects. This aspect contains photoreceptors, and these receptors respond to light. They are as follows: the rods that provide night vision, and cones that respond to bright coloured light. Nerve fibres leave the retina at the optic disc to join the optic nerve. The eye also has chambers for you to be aware of, and internally the eye is split into two chambers. The anterior chamber, i.e. the fore or anterior chamber, contains an aqueous humour, and this is a watery fluid. The posterior or hind chamber contains what we term vitreous humour, and this is a gelatinous substance. And where we have the division forming the two chambers, the choroid, which we know as the middle layer, projects inwards, as you can see on the image. Aspects of the choroid. We have the ciliary body, and this is the inner projectional aspect of the choroid. Suspensory ligaments which are attached to the ciliary body and hold the lens in place. The lens is clear and solid, and it is a biconvex structure. It changes shape to allow focusing. Light enters the eye through a hole in the iris that can change its size, and we call this the pupil. The iris is a further inwards projection of the ciliary body. It surrounds the pupil, and it is that is the coloured part of the eye. Muscles that contract and relax can alter the size of the pupil, and this can control the amount of light that enters the eye. Hearing and balance. The ear of a mammal is related to both its hearing and its balance. It is made up of three parts: the external, the middle, and inner ear. The external ear. The outer ear flap is also known as the pinna, and it's made up of skin and cartilage. The animal can move it using muscles that are under voluntary control. The ear canal is an L-shaped canal that enters the skull and ends up at the eardrum, or we should term it the tympanic membrane, and this is what separates the external and middle ear. The middle ear starts at the tympanic membrane and runs to an aspect that we term the oval window. It is filled with air and has three small bones that we term auditory isosceles, and these are in contact with each other. They transmit sound vibrations from the tympanic membrane to the oval window. The isosceles are called the malleus, which is hammer-shaped, the incus, which is ample-shaped, and the stapes, which is stirrup-shaped. Within the middle ear, we also have a connection to the pharynx, and we term this the eustachian tube, and it will open up on swallowing. The purpose of the eustachian tube allows for air pressure to equalise on either side of the eardrum. So think about how your ears may pop on an aeroplane. The inner ear is filled with fluid and contains two relevant structures. In relation to hearing, we have the cochlea, and this is shaped like a snail shell. It's filled with fluids, and the middle aspect of it contains a specialised structure called the organ of Corti. It has specialised hair cells, and they are responsible for transmitting sound vibrations via the vestibulocochlear nerve onwards to the brain. In relation to balance, the semicircular canals are made up of three loops that are filled with fluid. At the base of each loop we have an area of specialised epithelium, and we term this the cristae ampullus, and it contains hair cells that are embedded in a jelly-like mass. When the body moves, this jelly will move, thus it sends a message through the hair to the brain via the vestibulocochlear nerve. On cessation of movement, the fluid continues to move and continues to displace the jelly that gives the animal the dizzy sensation. So how does hearing work? The sound waves enter the ear via the pinna, and this assists to transmit the sound and allow the waves to travel through the external canal to the tympanic membrane. The membrane vibrates like the skin of a drum, and in doing so it causes the auditory ossicles to vibrate. This transfers the waves to the oval window. The vibration from this causes waves in the fluid of the cochlea and moves the small hairs in the organ of Corti. The vibrations are then picked up by the vestibulocochlear nerve and sent onwards to the brain, and this vibration is interpreted as sound. In summary, across the range of video presentations, we've covered the following assessment criteria. Identify the basic veterinary terminology associated with different parts of the anatomy. Describe the directional terms used for the position of parts of the body in relation to each other. Describe the common veterinary surgical terms. Name the common medical veterinary diseases. And describe the common veterinary techniques. You will now also have completed aspects and related handouts to compile a range of relevant terminology and also knowledge to help you in your workplace.